everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio in the town of Geraldine, Alabama. We are your source for news and entertainment and information. We appreciate you watching us. You can find us on channel 182, and that's on Charter Communications, which is in North Alabama. And another way you can find us is on Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for listening. I've heard a lot of our listeners talk about being ripped off by home builders, and it's happened to Phil and me too. And what's happening is there's such a demand for people are getting work done at their homes, but it's hard for some employers to find employees, which means they have to kind of work with what they have. And there's a lot of really good ones out there, but there's a lot of bad ones out there. And what they're waiting on is for all of us just to be desperate, and we've got to get something done. So we're going ahead and get the first person who says, yeah, I can do it. So there's a really good website out there. It's hbaa.org, and I encourage you to go ahead and look at this website. Again, that's hbaa.org. hbaa.org. This is the Home Builders Association of Alabama. We had someone who came out and tried to rip us off, and we called the Home Builders Association, and they came out and they did an inspection on the work that was done. And it was terrible. I mean, it was just horrible work. And so we wound up being successful at getting a lawsuit against this person. And so every month we're being paid for this person trying to rip us off. So the Home Builders Association is awesome that way. And they'll come out, they'll check the work out of the person that you're talking about. And if it's bad, what they'll do is they'll load down information. They actually came out here and took lots and lots of pictures. And so our attorney was able to actually win this lawsuit for us because they gave the correct information. It's not anything I had to do. And this is a free service, okay? And again, that's hbaa.org, and I highly recommend them. So there's an article in here, and it's Prevent Home Repair Fraud. And we all know a lot of this is going on. They're going to be those who are out there. And so they talk about the month, actually it was the month of May, was actually designated as Remodeling Consumer Protection Month. And they do this every single May. Lots and lots of articles out there, but let's go ahead and get started. Now, each year, the HBAA, Home Builders Association of Alabama, they partner with Alabama Attorney General's office. And so this is another way. Okay, it's all legal, okay, and it's done right. The Alabama Home Builders License Board and the Better Business Bureau. And this increases consumer awareness of how to avoid home repair and remodeling fraud. I'm out there to help you, okay? I don't like being ripped off, and I know you don't like being ripped off as well. Now, fraudulent remodelers not only hurt the consumers, but reputable remodelers as well, because we all start getting paranoid, you know what I mean? So somebody really good comes out, you got to be careful not to give them such a hard time. The best thing to do is check references, okay? And also, anybody who can come out and work on your home like now, or they say, oh, I can do it yesterday, don't let them come out, okay? Because the good ones are taken. I promise you that right now. Okay, so fraudulent remodelers not only hurt the consumers, but they're real good to home builders out there as well, says Justin Click, 2022 Home Builders Association Remodelers Chairperson. Now, when consumers are ripped off, that gives all remodelers, including those that are honest, a bad name. Now, that's in every business, okay? All walks of life. We want to make consumers aware, he's quoting. We want to make consumers aware of what to look for in hiring a remodeler and help them report fraud when it happens. Every year, the Consumer Affairs section of the Attorney General's office, and they're good too now right here in Alabama, they receive hundreds of home repair fraud complaints, with consumers claiming losses that can exceed several thousands of dollars. The following are some tips for finding qualified, reputable remodelers, and there's some good ones out there. Okay, and there's several of these, so I'm going to try my best to go through all of these in 30 minutes, okay? Verify that the remodeler is licensed with the Alabama Home Builders Licensure Board as required by law. Now, this joker who came to our house said, yeah, I've got an Alabama license. I didn't ask for it, see? And what he was talking about was his driver's license. That is an Alabama license, but that's not the one you want to check with. So what you'll need to do, go to hbaa.org, hbaa.org, and you can ask them, anybody. So Joe Schmo comes and he says that he is licensed, go ahead and get in contact with Home Builders Association, and they'll tell you whether that person really is licensed, okay? And that's real important. Investigate the reputation and the experience of the remodelers. Okay, now when you ask for references, guess what they're going to do? This joker is going to give you, if he's a bad one, he's going to give you only the good ones if he has any. So what you need to do is ask for the names and the telephone numbers of people as well, okay? And that's extremely important. And please do reference checks, okay? Because you are hiring these people, okay, to work on your homes. And I mean, this is business. So go ahead and call, okay? That's important. Seek referrals from friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers who may have had remodeling work done. That's extremely important as well. There's another one who came out to our house, and so he actually tore out a floor and put a floor in. We bought our grandparents' old farmhouse, and so needless to say, the house had been empty for at least a decade. And so when a house is just vacant and it doesn't have the love of a family in it, and it gets hot without any heat, and it gets cold without any air conditioning, something just happens to it. Something happens to the flooring. So it's just about every floor in this house has had to be redone. So this guy comes out, and there was something that just wasn't quite right. So one of my friends said, you need to get a ball and just let the ball roll. If it rolls, you didn't do a good job. And you didn't do a good job. So really, you need to watch out for those jokers. Okay, and again, check with other people in your neighborhood. One good thing you can do is if you have a neighbor who is having some work done, stop by the neighbor's house and just ask them if they would recommend the person who just, I mean, that's the best thing to do. If they would recommend this person who just worked on their home to you. And just ask, do you mind if I come in and see the work they did? If it's a good neighbor, they won't mind. And just go in and look, or set up an appointment. You know how it is, especially us women. We've got like a million things to do, and got kids, and got to feed them, and help them with their homework and all that. Set up an appointment to do that. That's best. Okay, again, investigate the reputation and the experience of the remodeler. And you want to check their background. Okay, you can get background checks done. We can. Just regular folks need to get some work done at the house. It may cost you $50, maybe the best $50 you've ever spent. Okay, so do that. And also, you may want to check with an attorney who has experience in home remodelers, okay? And they can offer some great advice for you as well. We had a good attorney, and he took good care of it. Seek referrals from friends. We talked about that. Okay, check with the local remodelers or Home Builders Association for the names of remodeler members. Okay, membership of the HBAA and the remodelers indicates a remodeler's commitment to professional customer service and quality construction. Check that out. Okay. Also, it used to be, if they only had a cell phone number, it was a big deal because you expected a home builder to have a home phone number, an office phone number, as well as a cell phone number. And so many people are working from their homes now that it's not common anymore for people to have actual business numbers that they're paying for. So, things have changed because of COVID. And as a matter of fact, I have a studio out of my home, so I'm actually using my cell phone for everything, cell phone number for everything. So, just remember this, times are changing, okay? Now, let's see, request copies, and this is extremely important, okay? You need to request copies of the remodeler's insurance certificates just to verify that he or she carries insurance that protects you from claims arising from property damage or job site injuries. Yeah, we had so I was living in Oxford, and so we had this guy, and thank God for nosy neighbors. Miss Phillips was awesome. And so the guy fell off of our roof and wanted to sue us 6 figures. And so our neighbor, who just happened to be looking out her window, her kitchen window, and saw him falling off, she said that he was staggering as if he were drunk. And so when our insurance company came to us about it, we're going to use our insurance. Now remember, if you have to use your insurance for a lawsuit, your claims are going to go up in cost. So you don't want to use it if you don't have to. And so Miss Phillips came to our house and she said, no, that man was drunk. She said he was staggering on top of the house. They had a crew there. And she said she saw him staggering. She said she saw him stagger. She was afraid he wasn't going to make it up the ladder to get up on top of the roof. And it was one of those big old 2-story, almost 4,000 square foot antebellum homes. I'm talking high ceiling. And so she checked on that. And she said, you know something? He was staggering. He was drunk. So she actually testified in the deposition to our insurance company. And she said, no, honey, he was drunk. He was. So he hadn't been drunk ever that I had ever seen him. But he was drinking, during business hours. And so anyway, we didn't have to pay for him falling off. And also, you need proof of everything. He claimed he broke his wrist, and he also claimed he broke his ankles. And he lied. He did not break anything. But he did fall off. I guess being drunk, he was limber. Who knows? But anyway, make sure that you do get their insurance certificates, okay? Because if they were to fall off, you would need to use his insurance company and not yours. Because again, your insurance rates are going to go up if you use your insurance. Okay, so again, request copies of the remodeler's insurance certificates to verify that he or she carries insurance that protects you from claims arising from property damage or job site injuries. I was also told, now we had 2 jokers out here, and so one of them was showing us pictures, and I got a little suspicious of the pictures he sent because, they were kind of too good. He was not a photographer. And so I even asked, are you a photographer? Because those pictures were sure good. And what he had done, you got to check this out. He did a copy and paste of, and that's another person you can eliminate if they do this. So he did a copy and a paste of stuff he found online. Was not his work. So you got to kind of be an investigator and use your imagination. But do request the insurance certificates. Make sure you can do that. That's important. The 2 most important things you can do is the insurance and check with the Home Builders Association of Alabama. And that's hbaa.org. I'm going to give that to you a couple of times. You know why? Because I'm going to look out after you. I want to make sure you do not get ripped off. I'm going to give you some phone numbers in just a few minutes as well. Okay, and let's see, and the reason you want the insurance is to protect you from property damage, or if he falls off and he's drunk. Many things like that. Also, don't compare apples to oranges when evaluating bids from contractors. Make sure they're based on identical project specifications. This is another thing. You can eliminate a lot of the thieves just simply by getting bids from them. You're a business, okay? You're having some work done at your home. You want to get bids just like anybody else would, okay? So, and don't fall just for the first one because you're in a hurry. You need to get 3 bids. Get 3 at least, okay? And give all 3 of the home builders the very same job list. So let's just say you want to build a deck. And make sure you give them all 3 the same specifications. Let's say you want a 15 by 15 deck. I'm just making something up. And this is something you need to make sure you also mention, okay, is that the materials involved, you want to know how much the materials are going to cost. Now, if he asks you to do the materials, that's fine. Then you can go on ahead and get them. But now remember this, a good contractor will probably be able to get a better price than you can. Okay? And by the way, never pay anybody up front. Don't do that. I know we want to trust everybody, but this is business, okay? So treat it like a business. So let's just say I'm getting a deck built and I want a 15 by 15. I want to know what the materials are going to cost. That's going to be on the bid. And you also want to know what they're going to charge you, okay? Is it going to be for the job? Is it going to be by the hour? I don't recommend you do the hour because, I mean, they can really beef those hours up. Just make sure you get a total job. Oh, and another thing you want on that bid is, now rain can affect if it's rainy or whatever, rainy season. We know that just from bridges that are being built, in Alabama, and road work and that kind of thing done. So you want a time frame, a general time frame on that bid list as well. You want to get it from at least 3 different people. And then what you'll do is you'll sit down with your magnifying glass and a pencil and a calculator and make sure everything is added up correctly too. One of them didn't calculate something on it. I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but it was like lumber, and let's say you needed 20 pieces. He put 40 and all he needed was 20. And he did the math on 40 instead of 20. And he only needed 20. So be really, really careful of that too, okay? People can rip you off. And by the way, sometimes they will, if they're rebuilding something, they may just take, whatever. Like, let's say you're having some new windows put in. If you want to keep the windows and do something like you've been on Pinterest and like I do, you've been on Pinterest and you're thinking about using the windows like in a garden outside or whatever, and those make good gardens, by the way, especially in the wintertime. It'll keep frost off of your whatever you've got planted outside. And let's say you want to keep the windows, you need to make that up front, by the way. And that's what we did. We had some windows replaced, and so we told the contractor that we wanted to keep those windows and not to break them, by the way. And so, that's just something else. Okay, let's see. Again, we got the insurance, and right here, make sure you get at least 3 bids, okay? And I'll give you the website again, and that website is hbaa.org. That's HB as in Home Builders Association, Alabama.org. This can save you a lot of headaches. And it's free to use, okay? And lots of free advice out there as well. Okay, let's see. Be wary of a contractor who asks for full payment before the job has begun. A payment schedule should be part of that written agreement, by the way, and be tied into benchmarks such as completing various phases of the job. That's the best way to do it, okay? And also, it's a good way to get them off their rear and get them to get the job completed. Okay. Now, again, not every home builder is the same. I don't want you having a bad name about home builders. I'm just saying you've got to sift through a bunch of bad ones to get to the good ones. If they say, "Oh, I've got to be paid up front," run from them. Okay. Don't walk. Run. Tell them to hit the road, Jack. Because you don't want anybody. First of all, they must not be very successful if they don't have an account. So this is another thing to think of. If they say, "Well, I got to have that stuff paid for," let me tell you this thing about Lowe's, okay, and about any of the other of the building supply places. A good contractor is going to have a good credit card to be able to use at all these places. So a good contractor, one that's paid his bills and has been good to his customers, is going to have, like maybe $5,000 or whatever on a credit card to these places. So if he's a good one and he's completed his job and he's paid the bills of the previous ones, you're going to be in good shape. You're not going to pay a dime up front. Okay, remember that. That's something that's important too. Again, beware of a contractor who asks for full payment. Never do that. Just say, okay, I've got an idea for you. Let's do this job in 4 phases. Okay, I want to know the first phase. Let's say you're doing the deck. Doing the floor could be the first phase. So, okay, so doing the floor, you got phase 1, okay? And so at that point, you'll pay them, for the lumber, for the materials they have to have, and then you'll also pay them for their work, hour, paying other people, them doing it, whatever. So you'll pay for all of that too, okay? And it's not a bad idea, by the way, to not only ask for the background of the contractor in his business, but maybe some of the people he's got working for him too, because I'm going to tell you, some of these folks get really desperate and they'll hire somebody doing drugs or whatever. And make sure when they have workers, they're not asking, a contractor should not want to use your bathroom. I'll put it to you that way. A good contractor, they're going to be able to, maybe have one of those porta potties or whatever outside. Don't let folks you don't know come into your house, okay? I'm not scaring you. I'm just telling you this is the real world. And unfortunately, I had to find out the hard way about the real world. So I'm not bossing you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I want you to be careful. I don't want you to get ripped off. Okay? Payment schedule should be part of the agreement, and it may be tied to benchmarks like completing various phases of the job. Okay, so I want to repeat that. Now, I'm going to give you some telephone numbers, and this is pretty cool. The Attorney General's office has established a hotline to take consumer complaints about home repair fraud. If you think you've been the victim of home repair fraud, which is what I did, you can call 1-800-392 5658. I'll give it to you again. Now, this is in Alabama. Now, wherever you're listening to this show, if you're in Texas or whatever, and you can, there is a Home Builders Association in all 50 states, okay? So just type in HBAA, Home Builders Association, or HBA, Home Builders Association, and if it's, say, Texas, just write in, type in Texas, and you'll be able to find one. They'll have their own complete telephone numbers, okay? Again, that number of the Attorney General's office is 800-392-5658. That's 1-800-392-5658. Okay, now the Home Builders Association of Alabama has published a brochure protecting yourself from home builder fraud, and also protect yourself from home repair fraud. And this is free of charge to consumers, and you can also download the brochure. I'll be downloading it in just a couple of minutes, just to read a few things off to you so that you know what it's about. Now, for a free copy, you can contact the Home Builders Association at 1-800-745-4222. That's 1-800-745-4222, or you can send them an email, and that's info@hbaa.org. That's info@hbaa.org. Now, for more information, go on the website, okay, and that again, that's hbaa.org. Find out more information about hiring qualified licensed contractor. There's a link you can click that's called Find a Pro, and it's a section of the website. This is how you can find local home builders associations in your area, and so that's a good thing to do. Okay, let's go ahead and download the brochure. It takes just a few seconds to do that. And getting help. Now, Steve Marshall is our Attorney General. He has been very, very proactive at hunting the bad ones down. Okay, again, Phil and I actually won the lawsuit. And so this joker's paying us every month, you know, and so anyway, you will be taken care of. Okay, let's see, before you hire a contractor, and I just wanted to mention a couple more things about hiring a contractor. Just make sure that the contractor has an occupational license, and you can see examples of that, by the way, on the website, because people could be fraudulent. You just need to make sure you see it. You want a copy of it, okay? And if they say, well, I can't get you a copy, well, then tell them to go hit the road jack, okay? You don't need them. If a project is more than $10,000, the contractor must have an unlimited license. Okay, that's important too. Issued by the license board, and this covers multiple trades on a project, and it's what most home builders and remodelers have. If they're good, that's what they've got. They want to protect their own self. Okay, this is good ones. General contractors licensed prior to January 1st, 1992 are exempt. Now, if the project is more than $10,000 but does not include more than one trade, the contractor must have a limited license, and you'll see that. And also on the website and on the brochure they'll send out, you'll see that as well. It'll have limited license. It'll say file number, and it'll have a number on it, and it would be like Joe's Paintings Company Incorporated, and it'll have the name of the licensee and their address on it as well. And it'll also have an effective date until, say, December 2025. I mean, it'll have a date on it, so you're going to know that it's good, okay? Now, I would still check with the Home Builders Association, because if they've done something that they shouldn't do, the Home Builders Association is going to remove the license, okay? They will not be legal. So I would still call. They've given you a copy of it. Now, if they won't give you a copy, it could be the license been pulled. Okay, so if you do have a copy of it, still go ahead and call the Home Builders Association. Okay. Now, verify the contractor's name and address and phone number. Make sure you verify that. Request references on similar work recently performed by the client. And again, get 2 or 3 bids. I'd get 3 bids. Check with the professional associations and licensing board to verify the worker's record. Okay, that's a simple must. Okay, check to see if the remodeler has a professional designation, such as a certified graduate remodeler, and that's called the CGR, which is awarded upon completion of coursework and technical courses. That could be like Northeast Alabama Community College. I think Snead State also has this, so you need to make sure they've got licenses. That's important too, on what they say they can do. And then also business management and contracts and law. Okay, now when approached by a contractor, remember the most professionals do not solicit door to door. They don't have to. They're busy. If they're good, especially in this day and time, so many people wanting stuff to do with not a whole lot of contractors out there, they're busy. They don't have time to go knocking on doors. Below are some lines commonly used by scam artists. I'm going to tell you what some of these lines are, okay? I just finished another job in the neighborhood and I'm trying to get rid of this extra material. Huh? That's a scam, okay? Another one could be this. They could say, the price I'm quoting is very low because we plan to use your home as a demonstration model. If it's too low, beware, okay? Beware. You will have to pay me in cash since I am giving you such a good deal. That's a scam, okay? Don't do it. Don't fall for it. This offer is good today only. No, that's not true. Don't tell anyone else about our deal. I've charged other people a lot more for the same type of work. Come on. Everybody is in business to make a living, okay? And to actually make a profit. So if it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. We had one of the scammers who came here and told Mother that they could fix her lawnmower. And they actually took $900, and we told her not to do anything like that, but she did anyway. She gave him $900, and he took the mower and he never returned it. Yeah, we reported him too. Let's see. This offer is good today only. Okay, don't tell anybody about our deal. Okay, I'll have to have all or half the money up front. No. Again, if he has good credit, he's been doing a really good job, and he's got a lot of jobs, he's going to have a credit card with Lowe's or somebody at Home Depot, somebody. He's going to have a credit card, and he's going to be able to get everything on credit, and then you can pay him back. You can pay it as soon as he finishes, say, phase 1 of his job. I'll hurry up, so I've only got about a minute left. I will give you some additional money to order more supplies before I finish the job. I'll need some additional money. No, don't do that one either. You'll need to have this work done to have immediately. You don't have time to think about it. You've got plenty of time to think about it. Don't let anybody rush you, okay? The price of these materials will go up tomorrow. Probably not. So anyway, I'm just looking out after you. Go to hbaa.org, and if you are not in Alabama and live in another state, all you have to do is type in Home Builders Association in whatever state you're living in, and they'll take really good care of you, okay? All right, thank you again so much for watching. We're going ahead and give you the number again. Better Business Bureau is 1-800-824-5274 for you to go ahead and check them out. And then the consumer hotline, 1-800-392-5658. Thank you so much for watching Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio. And again, I'm taking care of you, okay? I don't want you to get rubbed off because I like you too much. Hope you like us too. Check us out on Facebook. Thank you for watching.